Hi everybody. On this video, I just want to say something very simple in the end, but for that I need to go through some concepts first. So here we go. First of all, on the title I wrote spiral shoots. So I need to define better what is a shoot. On this one, the concept of young tissue is used. On this one, the concept of growth at the beginning of the season is used. And on this one, the idea of a shoot as the unit that has axillary buds, leaves, and flowers is used. So to me, this one is more or less a compilation of what is a shoot as a unit that you can observe and follow in the fields. Keeping that in mind, I decided to follow several different types of shoots through 3 seasons on 12 hash trees. Of course, this work generated a bunch of data. These drawings are at scale, so they're comparable among each other. The thing is, certain shoots behave differently. They were much longer and more complex than the other ones. So using comparable data, I end up making this chart just to convey these two shoot classes that pop up. The long ones are about 1.3 meters, 4.3 feet more or less, and the smaller ones are around 20 centimeters, which is 8 inches or so. Let's call the long ones spirals and the other ones the regular shoots. Now, the spirals are not a rare thing. They're usually called water shoots or suckers, and more formally they are epicormic shoots, and usually those terms have a negative connotation in the context of a canopy. So why do I call them spirals then? For that, I need to talk a little bit about phyllotaxis, which is the way organs like axillary buds or leaves are arranged all around the shoot circumference. If you imagine this circle as if you were looking straight down on a growing shoot tip, then you will see bud number 1 and its subtending leaf. Later, you will see bud number 2 at 144 degrees from the first one. Later on, you will see bud 3, 4, and 5. And eventually the new bud number 6 will virtually align with the bud number 1. It's just above it now. This organ pattern is a very common one and generates a spiral distribution around the shoot. This is a piece of an avocado shoot on which I'm just drawing those virtual lines. The gloves were completely unnecessary. They were just for the looks. So, back to why spiral shoots. You will have all these buds align among themselves and in 5 lines around the shoot. Regular shoots, like this hash shoot, will more likely release lateral shoots right below transitions and not through the length of each flush. Instead, spiral shoots are not only longer, they tend to release almost every single axillary bud into lateral growth. I said almost every single axillary bud because there's another pattern that occurs. This is a spiral shoot without a canopy context. But if I add it back, you will see that on the left, there is an abundant release towards the sunlit sections, and to the right, there is no release of laterals at all. Same idea as the previous. On this tree, you can see the tip of a spiral piercing through the canopy and releasing lateral buds all around itself. But if I show you more, you will see that where the arrows are pointing, there were open areas in the canopy, and in those places is where the lateral branching also occurred along the spiral. So I hope that by now it is possible to imagine that these spiral shoots release so many laterals when exposed to light that they literally look like a spiraling structure. That's why I call them spirals. And that they grow just like the regular shoots from a single bud at some point during the growth season. But look at the amount of inflorescences and the swollen buds along this structure. I'm finally able to show you the idea of reproductive potential that these spiral shoots have. I took all the leaves of this Duke 7 spiral shoot just to display the structure and the bloom patterns through time. Just to round everything up, I'm showing a Hass avocado, regular shoot with a single fruit. These are the ones with an average length of around 20 centimeters. I'll scale this image down to have a direct comparison to a Hass avocado spiral shoot. I'm adding 20 centimeters of the spiral shoot, and the arrow is showing that comparable length. But then you'll see the rest. 4 vegetative flushes leading to 2.35 meters or 7.7 feet off the main axis. And if I show you the laterals, 18.4 meters or 60 feet more of shoot growth, leaves, flowers, and of course fruit. There is a tendency to call these structures branches because of their size. But just remember, they grew during the season from a single bud, just like the regular shoots. This particular spiral had 151 fruits growing by late spring, but after fruit drops, heat wave, and sunburn damage, only 26 fruits remain. I think their productive potential is worth exploring as a unit that is used and replaced every season around the canopy under a renewal strategy.